Okay, this is a hilarious story. Something really funny almost happened. And even though the funniest possible thing didn't happen, something that's still pretty funny did happen. And the really funny thing can still happen. If none of that made any sense to you, then you probably haven't been on Twitter today. Because as I found out just a couple hours ago, Rudy Giuliani, the ex-mayor of America, or mayor of New York City, and former Trump lawyer and sycophant, was just in a car accident. A serious car accident. And is now hospitalized. We don't know how bad, at least I don't know, but Twitter was blowing up about it. Why would I be on Twitter? Well, I check Twitter to see what everyone's talking about, because I have to know, because it's my job. But let's go ahead and see. How bad's the situation? Cover up? Oh, who knows? Maybe they're trying to distract from Donald Trump's failing health. It's hard to say. Maybe this is part of Republican conspiracy. Maybe. Rudy Giuliani was injured in New Hampshire car crash, his spokesperson says. Rudy Giuliani is recovering from a fractured vertebrae. Oh my god, that is not... Yeah, no, he's cooked. Fractured vertebrae? Like, really? He broke his fucking spine, is what they're saying. Like, fractured vertebrae is the politically correct way of saying his fucking spine is broken. He got his back blown out. And other injuries as well. Following a car crash in New Hampshire, in which he was a passenger, a spokesperson for the former New York City mayor said Sunday. Giuliani was being driven in a rented Ford Bronco by his spokesperson Ted Goodman when their vehicle was struck from behind by a Honda HR-V driven by a 19-year-old woman late Saturday evening, New Hampshire State Police said in a statement. Can I just say for a moment, thank God for 19-year-old girls that are texting and driving, because that's probably what happened. And you might say they're the villains of the road, but today, that 19-year-old driving texter just became a hero. She's the hero of the story today. There you go. Yeah, texting teen driver saves the day. She's the hero here. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, if I've given you a chuckle or helped you to catch up on the news and you're enjoying what you've seen, consider hitting the like button and comment down below before you watch any further. It really does help to boost the video in the algorithm and even to help choke out conservative content from reaching a wide audience in the algorithm when you boost mine. So I appreciate it. It does help a lot. Like, comment, and subscribe. Back to it. Troopers witnessed the crash, which caused both vehicles to hit the highway median and left them heavily damaged, quote-unquote. State police said, Goodman and the 19-year-old suffered non-life-threatening injuries and were taken to hospitals for treatment, the agency added. State police said they are investigating the crash and no charges have been filed. Giuliani, who is 81 years old and now has a broken spine, was taken to a nearby trauma center and was being treated for a fractured thoracic vertebrae. I believe the thoracic spine is lower back. No, it's upper back. I'm completely wrong. It is, Here, I'll show you guys. It's the part of my back I've been having, like, pain in lately. The whole upper back area. So he got... How the fuck did he get a fractured vertebrae in his upper back? Weird. It must have been a serious... I guess his bones could be brittle. Must have been a serious crash. Alright, what else we got? Multiple lacerations and contusions, so he's bleeding, as well as injuries to his left arm and lower leg, according to a statement posted on X by Michael Ragusa, Giuliani's head of security. Bro is 81, man. Bro is 81 and probably looks worse off than Big Boss getting carried out of the helicopter crash at the end of Ground Zeroes. Bro's gonna, like, he'll be lucky to wake up as punished Venom Giuliani. Giuliani sustained injuries, but is in good spirits and recovering tremendously, Ragusa said, adding, this was not a targeted attack. It clearly was not a targeted attack. A 19-year-old girl driving on the road was not some kind of, like, terrorist or federal agent trying to take out Rudy Giuliani, of all people. Who the fuck is who would try to take out Rudy Giuliani in 2025? This is, like, the bottom of how important he could be. Trump has long since cut ties with Giuliani. He doesn't work with Trump at all. He's disgraced and embarrassed. He's just kind of a piece of shit. Yeah, God would be the one person that would target Rudy Giuliani. You're right. God might have been targeting him. That's fair. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think Rudy Giuliani had the backbone to break his spine, but apparently he does. Prior to the accident, Giuliani had been flagged down by a woman who was the victim of a domestic violence incident and contacted police assistance on her behalf, Ragusa said. After police arrived, Giuliani continued on his way, and his vehicle was hit shortly after pulling onto the highway in a crash that was entirely unrelated, quote-unquote, to the domestic violence incident, Ragusa said. And Ragusa told the Associated Press in an emailed statement. Well, that's a nice thing of him to do, if that is actually true and not some kind of, like, political PR fluff. To be fair, Rudy Giuliani has been caught on video pulling his cock out to try and sexually harass a ambiguously aged Borat's daughter. So, I don't know. I don't know about that one. New Hampshire State Police declined to comment on whether Giuliani had contacted the agency regarding the account of a domestic violence incident. Goodman did not respond to requests for a comment, and Giuliani's team did not provide additional details about the circumstances surrounding the crash. Quote, "Thank you to all the people that have reached out since learning the news about my father," Andrew Giuliani, Rudy Giuliani's son, wrote in a post on X. "Your prayers mean the world." The crash follows some rocky years for the one-time Republican presidential candidate, who was dubbed America's mayor in light of his leadership in New York after the September 11th attacks in 2001. Giuliani later became President Donald Trump's personal attorney for a time, and a vocal proponent of Trump's allegations of election fraud in the 2020 election, won by Democrat Joe Biden by the most votes anyone has ever won an election in American history, by the way. Trump and his backers lost dozens of lawsuits claiming fraud, and numerous recounts, reviews, and audits of the election results turned up no signs of significant wrongdoing or error. Two former Georgia election workers later won a $148 million defamation judgment against Giuliani. As they sought to collect the judgment, the former federal prosecutor was found in contempt of court and faced a trial this winter over the ownership of some of his assets. He ultimately struck a deal that let him keep his home and various belongings, including prized World Series rings, in exchange for unspecified compensation and a promise to stop speaking ill of the ex-election workers. I will say, one of the groups that really got fucked and all that didn't really get spoken about all that much, and I feel like we should have advocated for harder, were, you gotta keep in mind, in the lead up to the election in 2020, Donald Trump kept on saying the Democrats are gonna cheat. The Democrats are gonna cheat. They're gonna cheat. You need to go volunteer and work at the polls and watch them and make sure they don't cheat. Go to the polling stations and learn and see how it's done and count and make sure they don't cheat. A bunch of Republicans, MAGA, they took him seriously. They thought that he was serious, that the Democrats are gonna cheat, and it is on them to be there making sure votes get properly counted. So they did. They actually went there believing the Democrats were gonna try and cheat, there to prevent cheating and to watch for it. And there was no cheating. They realized how the system actually works, that it's actually very secure, and they saw no evidence of cheating, and then all of a sudden Donald Trump is on TV saying, they cheated, these election workers, these poll workers are against me. It's like, Trump, the shit you said leading up to the election led to tons of your own supporters volunteering to work at the polls. You're attacking much of your own supporters who went there to see if the Democrats were cheating. None of them saw any cheating. So yeah, some of the first Republicans, or I should say conservatives or Trump supporters, to feel disillusioned post the 2020 election were the people who felt attacked by Trump's election denial. They worked at those polling stations, and now Trump was calling them the enemy, calling them the ones who helped the Democrats cheat, when they went there to keep Democrats from cheating like he'd said would happen, and it never did. Anyway, let's move on into the next part of this. We've got some ABC coverage of this when it first happened. I'm wondering if there's going to be any additional info here.
We have some breaking news we want to start with. Rudy Giuliani hospitalized in a trauma center after a car crash. Giuliani is the former mayor of New York City and President Trump's former personal attorney. ABC's Melissa Dunn is here with the latest. So Melissa, what can you tell us about this?
Yes, Perry. So some good news here we have learned from Mayor Giuliani's spokesperson is that he is in good spirits and, quote, recovering tremendously. This after New York City's former mayor was in a car accident.
That's definitely not him actively. That's not him today. To be very clear, that's him before the car accident. He is not walking around with a fractured vertebrae, laceration. He did not recover already. I promise you that. This is from before the crash. He is still, like, he might be in a coma right now.
Accident yesterday in the highways of New Hampshire. This is when this car accident happened, according to his team, that he was in a vehicle and then there was another car that sped up behind them, hitting his car, sending Rudy Giuliani to the hospital, and that is where he currently is right now, recovering from some pretty serious injuries. He sustained injuries to his leg, to his arm. He also fractured his vertebrae. So, Perry, of course, right now we are monitoring those conditions, but that update there that we're told that he is expected to be okay.
By the way, vertebrae is one of those words where it could be he's fractured several vertebrae or one vertebrae. We don't know because it's one of those words. When they said fractured vertebrae in the cervical, in the cervical spine, I think it was, or not cervical spine, that's lower. It's thoracic spine, which is the upper spine. Fractured vertebrae could mean every thoracic vertebrae in the mid and upper back is broken. Oh, vertebra is singular. Okay. In that case, it means, yeah, they literally said vertebrae, not vertebra. So we know it's several vertebrae. It's several of his spinal bones. It's not one. He's got, like, multiple broken spine bones. Okay, damn. Because it said vertebrae, not vertebra.
And then his team says that the crash happened after he was helping a domestic violence victim. What else are they saying?
Yes, Perry. So what we're learning from that...
I'm not going to lie. I am skeptical on that claim from his team. Like, that sounds like some PR shit they'd be trying to put out to, like, make sure that the public's final thoughts of him before he dies are positive, you know, even if it's some bullshit.
That situation, according to his teams, is that essentially he was on the highway in New Hampshire when he noticed that there was somebody on the side of the street needing help. That's when he pulled over and helped out a victim to call 911. It ended up being a domestic violence victim that needed help with police. He waited there with them until authorities arrived. And then once he wrapped that up, that's when he returned in his car, got onto the highway, and then promptly after is when we're told that's when that car accident took place. Perry?
Melissa, thank you for that live report. We're going to gather some more information on the story and bring you updates as soon as we...
Damn. I'd say this accident, by the sounds of it, is as close to near fatal as it gets, especially for someone his age. These are not the kind of injuries an 81-year-old can recover from. I mean, brother, 81 years old? If he was 10 years younger, I'd be pretty sure he's fucked. If he was in his early 70s, I'd be pretty sure he's... If he was in his mid-60s, I wouldn't be confident in his survival. I'd be real scared if I was a family member and he was in his mid-60s with these injuries, because even then, chances of him pulling through are low. I am not 20 years younger and we're still pushing whether or not he could survive injuries like this. Like, these are the kind of injuries that ruin your quality of life forever, mind you. Like, the amount of physical therapy... He will have to do physical therapy trying to regain his ability to walk and stand up straight till his natural death, okay? Like, this guy does not have the years left to regain his ability to walk. He's at least going to spend whatever life he has left probably in a wheelchair, or best with crutches. Like, this is a devastating injury to receive this late into your life. It's very likely he never walks again, if he even opens his eyes again. This is serious, dude. He's broken several thoracic vertebrae in his upper back as an 81-year-old man. That is some legit damage. That 19-year-old is so cooked. Yeah, I wonder, like, what's the deal with her? She must be real fucked up, right? Like, you would think that Rudy Giuliani would be in, like, a limo or some kind of armored car. Maybe he got, like, bashed around because they went flying off of a hill or something like that. But you got to assume whatever the 19-year-old was driving, like, she might have gotten real fucked up. He was in a Bronco. So, like, was it like a classic car? Or was it a newer one? Was it like a steel frame car? One of those, like, no crumple points old classic cars? Or was it a modern Bronco? Is God finally getting Trump and his cronies? Maybe. Maybe this is God just checking off names and lists. Maybe the death note is real and a leftist just got it, but, like, it takes a really long time for it to work. Like, it says, yes, and in 3 months, the death note will finally take effect. Imagine if that's how it worked. You had to write someone's name and then wait 3 months for it to take effect. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows with this? I'm going to put my money down now. I genuinely don't think that Rudy Giuliani is going to survive this, but I'm curious what you guys think. Like I said before, comment down below, because not only does it help the channel, but I like hearing your thoughts on stories like this and your theories and predictions as well. And don't forget to like as well, to boost the channel and the algorithm and help it reach a larger audience. It really does help a lot. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already and you're new here and you want YouTube to actually tell you when I upload a new video or upload new videos in the future, go live. And if you want to see more from me on other platforms, make sure to subscribe and join my fan Discord, as that is the main hub of my fan base and community. And on top of that, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, movie nights, and all sorts of fun events like that in my Discord every single week, every Friday, so you won't regret joining. I highly recommend it. And finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, I do of course only get 45% of ad revenue from each dollar I make. YouTube takes the other 55%. So as a smaller creator, you guys supporting me directly, financially, is the difference between me being able to do YouTube full-time entertaining you all, and me having to quit and go work in the wagey cagey like all of you guys. And you know, I just hope to God if I have to go back to the wagey cagey, I get to be like coworkers with one of you. That would be pretty cool. Like I come in and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Xander Hall? Dude, this guy used to be one of my favorite streamers. That'd be funny. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I appreciate your support. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good one.